We here. We here, y'all. The grind is real. The grind is real. So we back. We here with another video. So I appreciate you all once again for riding with your boy, tapping in with your boy as we go through this grind and through this journey. You know, to be one of the top platforms in all of the internet when it comes to interviews, just fighting news in general. So I appreciate you all for rocking with me on this journey because we taking this thing to the moon. I'm going to tell you that right now. So we're going to be breaking down the Canelo versus Scull matchup, and then we're going to be looking at a couple fights that happened up until then. So we're going to dive into all that good stuff. But before we do that, we have some business that we have to take care of. Of course, we're powered by DNS Cleaning. So if you're in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area and you need cleaners, those are the people that you want to tap in with. So feel free to reach out to me. I can get you all the information that you need, or if you want to reach out to them your own, they are on Facebook and they're on Instagram. Also, DNS Cleaning Services LLC. They'll get you taken care of. Also, we do have sponsorship opportunities that are available as well. So holler at us. Holler at us through email, through Messenger or private message on any of our platforms, and we'll be more than happy to talk and discuss business. But now that we got the important stuff out the way, let's get to the fun stuff, y'all. All right, so we're gonna be breaking down the Canelo versus Scull matchup here in a little bit, but let's go back a couple fights before the main event took place. We're gonna start right at Martin Bakole versus Efe Ajagba. Okay, so these two had a nice little build up going into the fight, and the way that the fight played out, hey man, it was interesting. It was surprising too because a lot of people anticipated that this wasn't gonna be a fight that lasts very long. It was gonna be a knockout, a stoppage, but. Boy, were we wrong. Efe Ajagba, he did the right thing. He boxed. A good part of the fight. Was able to frustrate Bakole. Bakole wasn't able to, get him to be stationary in one spot. And you can tell late in the fight, Bakole stood in the middle of the ring. It was like, come on, let's fight. So Ajagba, he had the right game plan as far as sticking and moving and sometimes counter punching, frustrating Bakole. So I did like his game plan. The only thing is, Efe Ajagba is no small guy either. Efe Ajagba is about 240, 250 pounds. So being able to move consistently, counter punch consistently for the whole fight is a very, very, very tough task for someone his size. So as we saw, there's going to be times where he's going to be leaning on the ropes, and there's going to be times where Bakole is going to be able to take advantage of that. And that played out towards the end of the fight because, like we said, Ajagba did have a good game plan, y'all. He did. He was boxing, counterpunching. He was doing everything great. He was racking up a number of the early rounds, but with that size and being that big, you can only move so much. But that's when Bakole was able to catch up on the back end of the fight. And as the decision was read, that's how we got our majority draw. So that's where we sit with those two. So would you like to see him run it back? Or would you like to see them maybe go a different route? I thought that was a good fight. And you know what? I wouldn't mind a rematch because I don't know if Bakole fighting Joseph Parker on short notice did anything at all to affect his camp. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. But I do want to see them run it back and maybe see Bakole get down and wait a little bit. He did come in at 299, so that may be a tad bit on the heavy side. He carried it well, but I believe when he fought Jared Anderson, he was just a little lighter than that. So we'll see. We'll see how things shake out. But that was a very good matchup. Like I said, it played out a lot different than what I thought. I actually put in one of my parlays that was going to be under 7.5 rounds. And I was sitting there looking the whole, I was confident. Even round 2, I'm like, oh, it's going to happen. Round 3, oh, we good. 4, I'm still going to get a knockout. And as time went on, I'm, all right, maybe this won't happen. So definitely something that caught me by surprise, which, hey, I'm all down for it. Down for surprises, down to see fights that we think are going to be short fights, go the distance and see people get tested. So much respect to both of those guys, for sure. That was a fight that, like I said, caught me by surprise as far as the way everything planned out. And then right after that, we had the rematch, all right, between Jaime Munguia and Bruno Saras. Now, For those of you that may not be familiar with when I say rematch, is these two actually fought a couple months prior. It was actually a homecoming for Jaime Munguia. I want to say it was in Tijuana, and Saras ended up knocking out Munguia. So as time goes on, here we are. We got the rematch. And as you can tell, this was a different Jaime Munguia, that we got. He made sure his defense was intact to make sure he didn't get caught with anything that he feels like he shouldn't be getting caught by. And he was there was a respect level for Saras that he may not have had before, which is understandable because he didn't fight him before. He really didn't know, too much about him. So I would imagine going into this rematch, there's a whole nother respect level. Now that you've spent some time in the ring with him, you kind of know what you're getting into, and you know what you need to adjust. But Saras is a good fighter, y'all. That's one thing we definitely learned too. This is his first loss, so he came into this fight undefeated. So I do want to see what's next for him. I'm going to be keeping an eye on him because this fight was a victory that Jaime Munguia had to earn. So if Jaime Munguia wasn't the best version of Jaime Munguia, he wasn't going to win this fight. So he had to lock in. That he did. I believe he switched trainers. I'm not sure. I want to say he switched trainers, but y'all know how I am. Like, if I don't know 100%, I'm pretty sure I can look it up, but I shoot these videos live and everything. So if it's not, I'm not 100%. So he may have switched trainers. If he didn't, I am so sorry. If he did, cool. But we saw a different Jaime Munguia, one that was had his hands up, defensively responsible. So that was a good rematch. Jaime Munguia got the unanimous decision, of course. So now he's back on the right path. So he's got some big fights that are potentially on the horizon for him. He could be looking at the winner of Edgar Berlanga and Hamza Shiraz. Who knows that? I know Caleb Plant and Charlo, they're going to be tied up for a while. So, he can kick back and chill and see how things shake out. I know Christian Mbili is always clamoring for a big fight. That fight with Pacheco didn't quite go through. So I know Mbili is waiting for someone with a name to fight him. So there'll be options that'll end up working themselves out as these next couple months come out and as these next couple fights happen. So definitely want to keep our eyes locked in for Jaime Munguia. And like I said, Saras, man, Saras can fight. So shout out to him as well, and we'll see what's next for him. It should at least be a decent opponent for sure. I think he's earned that right with not only the rematch but the first fight too with Jaime Munguia. I think Saras has earned the right to have a good opponent in his next go around too. And then Badou Jack. We got to give a quick shout out to Badou Jack at 41 years old, still getting it done. I mean, 41 years old in boxing, still getting, what can you say, dog? So you have to give respect where respect is due, because in boxing, a lot of people look at your 30s as old, like 31, 32, getting old, 33, 34, of course, you're getting up there. And if you special, 35 and up, if you're one of the real good ones. So to talk about 40, I mean, there's only, I don't want to say a handful, but there's only a few fighters that have been champions, world champions beyond the age of 40. And Badou Jack now is amongst those elite fighters. So definitely have to put some respect on Badou Jack's name and what he accomplished. So much respect to him. And the main event, Canelo Alvarez, he got the unanimous decision win over William Scull. So he is now once again the undisputed champion at 168 pounds. This fight, man, I just think Scull could have done more. I mean, you're fighting Canelo Alvarez on the main stage, main event. Put on a show. Either, whether you win or lose, if you're fighting someone like Canelo Alvarez and you still put on a good showing for yourself, people are still going to want to see you, even if you lose. So fighting Canelo is really a win-win situation. You win, obviously. You win, you good. But if you don't win, but you still do a good job, or you still show people that you want to fight, that's a good situation too. So in that retrospect, it's a win-win situation. But I don't think Scull, he did that. I don't think he did enough to get people to say, okay, I want to see him fight again. I want to see him on the main stage. It was not a lot of punches were thrown, not a lot of punches were landed, obviously. So definitely one of those fights that fans were looking at and saying, this ain't it, Captain. And it's unfortunate because I always look forward to watching Canelo Alvarez fight. But it is what it is. He's got a big fight on the horizon, though. As you guys saw after they read the victory, after they read the decision with Canelo, of course, getting the victory. Terrence Crawford comes in, and it's official, y'all. I mean, Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. It's September. I want to say September 12th, Allegiant Stadium, and where the Raiders play. So in Las Vegas. So that's where we're at. That's gonna be a big fight. Let me know what you think. How that fight is gonna play out. And looking at the way the two were face to face, Crawford is bigger. Crawford looked bigger than Canelo. So, but also we have to be real with ourselves. This is a weight class that Canelo's at. He's been at. He's comfortable at. He's been fighting at. He's used to the power there. He's used to dishing out the power there. He knows what the punches are like in that weight class. So he's sitting there. He's in his home. This is his home turf. So we don't want to read too much into those face-to-face. And Canelo, Crawford's not even to a point where he's getting to he's gaining weight right now. So there's going to be some weight fluctuation, obviously, between now and the fight. But that's just off the naked eye. He looked bigger than Canelo. So we'll see. We'll see how everything plays out. But yeah, the fight could have been a little bit more, but it is what it is. But we got a good one on the horizon, hopefully. So we'll see what happens. Canelo and Crawford, when they get it on for the undisputed championship at 168 pounds. So I'm all in for it. It's one of those fights that we got to see. Elite level talent against elite level talent. And, we got some time to say how we feel and get y'all feelings on it too. So we'll definitely, of course, get into that fight. We'll break that fight down. We're working on hopefully getting some people on the channel to talk about that fight with us. So make sure you guys stay tuned. But yeah, that was our little review of the Canelo vs. Scull card and, some other action that went down. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So for me, for Sugar Ray, for my man Mike back there, we up out of here, y'all. Peace.